My girlfriend forced me into an open relationship by threatening to break up with me. I begged her not to do this, but in the end I had to give in. When I finally found a partner to sleep with, my girlfriend is accusing me of cheating and destroying our relationship. Now I'm in a healthy relationship with the girl I slept with. AITA? So my girlfriend 24F and I 23M have been going through a very rough time lately, and it all boiled over in the past few days. We have been together for 3 years. Things were going well for the most part. We got along and would rarely fight. Even when we did, we would often both cool down and talk it out not long after. However, about 2 weeks ago, my girlfriend approached me and asked if I wanted to open our relationship. I was immediately shocked, and I almost thought she was joking at first. She said that she really loves me and wants to be with me, but before we get more serious, she wants to get more experience. She was my first everything, and she has been with 2 other guys. I shot down the idea and told her I wasn't comfortable with it. She kept badgering me about it, but eventually relented when she realized I wasn't budging, and that seemed like the end of it. However, a few days later, she came to me again and asked me more aggressively about it, and was insinuating that we might have to take a break if we can't just try opening our relationship for a few months. Considering it was basically we take a break or I just give her this. I relented and said we could open up the relationship. 2 days later, I got home from work and saw she was dressed up, and I asked what for. She said that she was going out to the bar with her friends, and she wouldn't be back until tomorrow. I immediately recognized what this meant and asked if she would rather spend the night in with me, but she said she really wanted to do this. Eventually she left, and I was left sitting alone watching TV getting drunk. I got sad, so I called one of my close friends 23F and was telling her about the situation. After we talked for a while, I asked her if she wanted to come over and drink because I was feeling like shit being alone. After she got there and we hung out for a bit, drinking and discussing the open relationship and how upset I was. My friend suggested that if my girlfriend was essentially cheating on me, I might as well enjoy the perks of an open relationship too. I'm sure you could see what happened there, and I won't get into details, but it made me feel a lot better. Flash forward to the next morning, and I wake up to my girlfriend freaking out asking me what the hell my friend and I were doing in our bed. I told her what happened, and she got mad. She told me that she didn't even do anything last night and ended up crashing at her friend's house. She now wants to close our relationship back off and make me prove my loyalty for cheating on her. We never discussed any rules or anything like that, so I really don't see how I did anything wrong. So am I the asshole for participating in the open relationship that my girlfriend suggested? Update. A ton of people were inquiring about how the whole situation played out and asking me for an update. It's been an incredibly hectic month for me, but things have started to settle down, and I'm ready to update. So for starters, my girlfriend and I ended up officially breaking up a few days after my initial post. It was not a pretty scene. She kept calling me a cheater and telling me what a piece of shit I was for cheating on her. I took this for a few days while I tried to figure out what to do, but eventually I snapped back at her one day. I should have tried to keep my cool, but I told her she is genuinely the stupidest person I've ever met in my life, for thinking an open relationship would work out and it's her fault everything blew up. I told her I played by her rules and it's not my fault I found someone to hook up with faster than she could. She told me she didn't want to cheat on me, she wanted to explore, and I should have understood. We went in circles arguing for a bit, but I eventually told her to get out of my apartment. I pay rent and my name is on the lease, and I had to threaten to call the cops before she realized I was serious. She of course then broke down crying, saying she had nowhere to go and told me she loved me and wanted to make things work. I held firm and told her to leave. After she was out, I immediately felt better, realized that relationship was terrible for me. The next day, I called up my friend, who I slept with in the original post, and asked if she wanted to come over and drink and game. She said yes, and of course, given what happened last time, we ended up hooking up again. My ex ended up coming by the next day to pick up the rest of her stuff, and boy, let me tell you, she was not happy to see my friend. She didn't start anything, but I could tell by the way she was acting, she was seething. My friend and I ended up talking more and more after that until I eventually officially asked her out and she said yes. We have been together for the past month, and to say this is a healthier, better relationship would be an understatement. I have been friends with her for a long time, and I think we've both always sort of had a thing for each other but never really acted on it until we were basically handed that perfect opportunity by my ex. We have a lot more in common, and we are a lot better at communicating with each other, and so far, this whole relationship has been amazing. Thank you all for the advice on the previous post. I really appreciate it. TLDR. Ended up in a significantly healthier relationship after breaking up with my toxic ex. My sister stole my boyfriend and they are getting married. She wants me to be her bridesmaid. When I refused, she is accusing me of ruining her big day. My mom is telling me I'm being petty and breaking the family. Reddit, am I wrong? Hey Reddit. I seriously need some outside perspective because this situation is a mess. So, I'm 24F and my sister 28F is getting married in 2 weeks. The problem? I don't think I can bring myself to go. And here's why. About a year ago, my ex, let's call him Mark, 26M, dumped me out of the blue after we'd been together for 2 years. I'm talking no warning, no nothing. He hit me with the classic, I need to find myself speech, and poof, he was gone. I was wrecked. I cried, I questioned everything, and yeah, I thought it was all on me. Fast forward a few months and I found out that he wasn't just finding himself, he was finding my sister. Yeah, you read that right. He started dating my freaking sister right after we broke up. And neither of them told me. I had to find out from a mutual friend. Like, are you serious? When I confronted her, she gave me some lame excuse about how it just happened and she didn't want to hurt me. Girl, what? Here's where it gets worse. They're getting married. Yup, she's walking down the aisle with my ex. And guess what? They've asked me to be a bridesmaid. The thought of standing up there, pretending like everything's chill while they say their vows? Nah, I'm not about that life. Now, my family's acting like I'm the one in the wrong here. My mom even said, well, he wasn't your husband, so it's not like it's a betrayal. What kind of twisted logic is that? My sister's telling me I'm selfish for not wanting to be there on her big day and that I need to get over it for the sake of the family. So I straight up told her I'm not going. I'm sorry, but I can't fake smile through this. Now, they're all guilt-tripping me, saying I'll be the one ruining the family if I don't go. Like, how am I the problem here? AITA for not wanting to go to my sister's wedding because she's marrying my ex? Or am I actually the selfish one? I told my brother that his son of 3 years is an affair child, and his wife is still sleeping with the guy. My SIL straight up denied it, but after the DNA test came negative, my brother divorced her and kicked her out of the house. He is really heartbroken. My family is accusing me of breaking up his marriage. They felt I shouldn't have told him and let him raise another man's child. AITA. I-33F. Never thought I'd be the one to destroy my brother's 35M marriage. But a few weeks ago, I overheard something I wish I hadn't, and now everything's blown up, and I'm not sure if I'm the asshole for what I did. My brother has been married to Anna, 30F, for 5 years, and they have a 3-year-old son, Ben. My brother absolutely adores that kid. He's the type of dad who's always there changing diapers, taking him to the park, all that stuff. But I've always had this weird feeling about Sarah. Like, she was always just a little too distant. I don't know how to explain it, but I always got this vibe from her that something wasn't right. Anyway, about a month ago, I was at their house to drop off some things for Ben. My brother wasn't home, but Anna was there. I was just hanging out in the living room when I overheard Anna on he-phone in the kitchen. At first, I wasn't even really listening until I heard her say, I can't let him find out that Ben isn't his. He'd never forgive me. I literally froze. I thought maybe I heard it wrong at first, but she kept talking, saying something like, I know it's hard, but you knew this would be the risk when we got involved. Turns out, she was talking to a guy from her work, Mark, who she's been sleeping with for like 4 years. And the kicker? Ben isn't even my brother's kid. He's Mark's. I was shaking. I felt sick. I left before she could see I heard anything and drove home in a total panic. I had no idea what to do. I spent days debating whether or not to tell my brother. I mean, how the hell do you tell someone that their kid isn't really theirs? But I also couldn't just sit back and let him live this lie. After a few sleepless nights and talking to some friends, I decided I had to tell him. He deserved to know the truth. So I asked him to meet up for coffee, and I told him everything. He didn't believe me at first, but when I told him exactly what I heard, he went white. He went home and confronted Anna that same night, and it turned into a huge blow-up. Long story short, they're getting a divorce. He's heartbroken, And on top of everything, he did a DNA test, and it confirmed that Ben isn't his. Now his whole world is upside down. He still loves Ben, but everything's different, and I can see the pain every time he looks at him. The thing is, now some of my family's mad at me. They think I should have stayed out of it, that it wasn't my place to get involved, especially with Ben being so young. They say I broke up a family and that my brother would have been better off not knowing. But I just couldn't live with myself letting him raise a child that wasn't his, especially when Anna was keeping it a secret. Now I'm questioning if I did the right thing. My brother's devastated, Ben's life is going to be affected, and my relationship with Anna is obviously ruined. So, AITA for telling my brother the truth and basically blowing up his whole life? Or should I have kept quiet and let things play out on their own?